back to tell you a good Filipino story. Do you kids know about the legend of the garlic, or bawang as they say in Tagalog? If no, just sit tight and listen. Are you all ready? Yay! Here we go, come on! Our story will be all about the legend of the garlic. Long ago, in a village in Ilocos, there lived a datu by the name of Nadong. He had 3 young sons. When it came to raising crops, the datu regarded his sons in the same manner as he did the commoners of the village that he ruled. He gave each of his sons an extensive land to cultivate so that they would become accustomed to hard work and not always be dependent upon him. Thus, the datu could only shake his head whenever he saw Sakwel, his youngest son, chattering with the animals and wandering through the forest or the fields. Whenever Sakwel was caught up in enjoyment, he neglected the land that his father gave him. One day, the datu reprimanded Sakwel. "I'm sure you will again be the one with the smallest yield this coming harvest," he declared. "Will you always let yourself be behind by your brothers?" Never once did Sakwel ever feel his father was proud of him. His father always kept telling him he should emulate the diligence of his 2 brothers. "Sakwel, my son, diligence is a wonderful quality in a man. Dreams and success can only be attained if you have this trait," his father reminded him. Sakwel simply listened earnestly to his father, the datu's advice. But there was one thing that remained a mystery to the villagers. They noticed that their yield kept getting smaller with every harvesting season. "Beloved datu, white men have been seen wandering around the village and taking our harvest at night," said one of the residents. The datu laughed. "White men? Nonsense! There are no white people in this place." It was well known that the people of their village were hardworking. The residents earned their living by raising crops, and so they paid no mind to the brightness and the heat of the sun. That was the reason why the complexions of the villagers were all brown. "Just keep a close watch on our surroundings. In the event that there are people taking advantage of us, they must be caught and punished," he added. One night, while Sakwel was watching the fireflies in their yard, he saw a strange figure taking the harvested rice and vegetables from the storehouse. It was a man, and his skin was very white. If he was not mistaken, they were of the same age. Soon afterwards, the pale-skinned man left. Sakwel followed him. He reached the center of the forest and saw him enter a cave. He suspected that it was perhaps one of the white men he had heard about from his father. Because it was already dark at that hour, he returned home. The following night, Sakwel waited for the white man at the storehouse. This time, 3 children accompanied him. Sakwel summoned his courage. He shouted at them, You are the ones who have been taking our harvest!" The 3 children quickly ran off. Sakwel cornered the eldest of the 3. Please don't harm my siblings. Harm me instead," pleaded the white man he had first seen the night before. "I am Bawang. I am a friend. We did this because we needed food. Have mercy, please don't turn us in," he begged once again. Sakwel took pity as Bawang told him their story. They had been living in the cave for a long time because a band of outsiders invaded their village. It was in the forest that they found a safe place to stay. Once, he said, wild animals chased his entire family, and because of that his father was killed. From then on, his relatives never risked to go outside the cave. Only when the night was silent did they go hunting for food. Because of what he heard, Sakwel simply gave Bawang some food. From that time onwards, Sakwel and Bawang always met in the storehouse at night. You live nowhere else but inside that cave? Asked Sackwell. I grew into the young man inside that big cave. Our skin become this way since then because the sun never shines on us, recounted Bawang. In the company of our dear mother, we were entertained by wonderful stories. Sometimes, when night fell, we played in the forest. We, on the other hand, are always being reminded by our father, the Datu, about our importance of working and learning to stand on our own 2 feet. He says that we must work hard so we can succeed in whatever we desire out of life, said Sackwell. Sackwell found a bosom friend in the person of Bawang, and so too did Bawang and Sackwell. Sackwell, someday, I hope we can do something good in exchange for all the trouble we are causing you, Bawang once told him. Then one evening, as the 2 friends were talking, Bawang's mother and his siblings were discovered. Sackwell saw a number of villagers running after his family. Bawang, you must escape before they catch you. Where will I go? There was fear in Bawang's voice. Get as far as you can or you will be harmed. Go to the next town. They are chasing your mother and your siblings. There was nothing Bawang could do but to follow his instructions. Bawang's family hurriedly entered the cave. Afterwards, the villagers who had been chasing them hurriedly covered out the mouth of the cave. As the screams of the white man were heard throughout the forest, they made certain that Bawang's kin would never be able to come out. It was too late when Sackwell made it to the cave. The screams and the pleadings of his family or of his intimate friend have died away. The incident became the subject of gossip the next day. Sackwell made it known how angry he was at those people responsible for stealing Bawang's relatives inside the cave. They should not have been judged so hastily, father. The punishment they carried out upon the white man was unjust. Datu Nadong understood his son's arguments. Thus, the culprits were tied against trees that were crawling with ants. From then on, there was never a day when Sackwell did not go to where Bawang's mother and siblings lay. He would bring them flowers, until one day he saw a strange plant that had sprouted in that spot where the white men were buried alive. The plant had a cluster of white-colored cloves, closely bound as if they were embracing one another, much like the closeness between Bawang's mother and siblings. The color of the plant was much like the skin of the white man. He broke open one of the bulbs and smelled a pungent odor coming from it. The plants atop the cave increased in number. He had a notion that they served as a remembrance of his friend Bawang. He took the plants and cared for them. Before long, a number of his townmates discovered that the plant could heal many ailments when eaten or applied to the skin. Furthermore, it also became a favorite ingredient in their dishes. From that time onwards, Sackwell planted in his fields the aforesaid bulb that came from the white man. He took special care of the plants. Because of his hard work, they flourished. They became more and more numerous, and even in the neighboring villages, the bulb was planted as well. Datu Nadong was overjoyed for his son, especially when foreigners flowed into their village from neighboring countries to buy the white bulbs. Before long, Sackwell was recognized as the man to discover the plant. Many years went by, and a man paid Sackwell an unexpected visit. He was greatly surprised when he introduced himself to him. He was none other than Bawang. He did not recognize him because his skin was brown, just like his own. "My good friend, I have waited so long for this chance to see you again," Sackwell said joyfully. Bawang revealed all that had happened since he left. "I came back to thank you. When I moved away to another province, I let myself be ruled by what you said about working hard. Because of this trait, I am now a distinguished farmer, living a peaceful life. Because of this, my dreams have been fulfilled. I also have my own home and have saved enough for my future. I should thank you as well. Sackler showed him the wide stretch of land teeming with the plants discovered through his family, so that you would remain in my memory. I named the plants after you. Never for a moment did I forget you, my friend. He drew his friend Bawang into a tight embrace. The end. So now you kids know why the garlic cloves are bound and why its color is white. So, did you kids like the story? Okay then, I'll see you in my next video. Bye! God loves you. Keep safe, everyone.